Right, welcome back everybody. Back in the man shed. I've been to work today, which I did do a little video for, but I won't put that out till tomorrow evening because there's another half to go on top. But so I'm back home in the man shed, and me being me, I can't sit still for 5 minutes. I am still doing these sample boards, which for those that watch regular will have seen. This is for a gents barbers, a gents hairstylist that they want some textured walls done. And I made these last time. I won't keep showing them because you've seen them enough. But this was made out of like interior stuff, it was for an interior wall. And this was the desired sort of effect and texture. Not sure about the colours yet. But the general consensus was this was the best one. So customers happy with that as well. And I got a lot of sort of comments from yourselves as well. I think you'll like this one. So that was that for the interior. But also on the shop, there is going to be some outside signage which they want in a similar sort of thing. So obviously I can't do that with interior stuff. So I've picked myself up a bag of the one coat render. So I'm going to see if I can create a similar texture or something of equally as sort of usable on a bit of plasterboard again, just as a demonstrating thing. So I'm going to use this to do it with. So let's get some of this mixed up and see how we get on, see what we can create. I've got a few different tools and things. Let's stand you up a bit more so you can see me. So I don't know if it's going to come out like that, but I've got a few different bits and pieces to sort of try and muck about with. I've got my old stipple brush. Do you remember them, the old stipple brushes? See if that might do something. I don't know. I've got my old float. That's seen a bit of work, that one. The old corner gone. So I've got a float, maybe just to rub it up, bring out a bit of texture. And I've also got my little K-rend pointed thing, scrapey texture. See if it might do something to it. So I've no idea how this is going to come out. But I've got 3 bits of plasterboard to experiment with. So I'll just mix up and we'll see what we come up with. Okay, so same again. Let's just put a load on and see what we come up with. Just going to use this little trowel again while I'm in here. Now then, we could just do that again and sort of raise it up and then like a bit of a knockdown skip trail look to match the one that we did for the inside. I think that would look alright. But while it's wet, I'm just going to play about with it really, so see what else we can come up with. Let's smooth that over. Let's see what a bit of stippling does. Well, I know what it's going to do, but let's just see if we can drag it and rip it. That's just a swirly sort of Artex. See, that's not good. No, I'm not feeling that really. Not feeling that at all. Let's see what the float does. Float just really similar to the trail really. I quite like that knockdown dash look. Let's have a Well, it's so easy to do. It feels effortless, really. It is what it is. You just putting the trowel flat, so you're pulling it up, almost like the reverse of stippling a ceiling, really, and then just gently knock the heads down of what you pulled up, and it gives it that sort of texture. So I think this would be fine for the outside signs. Right, I'm going to leave that one to dry. Let's take me a bit of tape off, and then I'm going to do another one, but I'm just going to spread it flat first of all. Alright, so we'll just let that one dry, and then we'll try another one. Right, now this one I'm going to put it on a bit thinner and just give it a coat on the flat first. Now, I think that looks better. If you put it on thinner, then do it. I think that other one was a bit thick, really, and it was pulling the tops up too much. You just want a subtle. That's not bad. That's very easy to do. Alright, that's number 2. Right, so with number 3, we're just going to put a base coat on fairly flat and smooth. Let that go hard. Then we can dab some fresh stuff on and skip trail it and see how that comes out. So if I just give this a very fine sponge finish, obviously I wouldn't use this on the job, this little one, but I just want to give it that spongy finish. And then once it's dry, I can then put some fresh stuff on and stipple it and give it that skip trail effect and see if that background does anything to it with that sponge look. So let's have a look at that. So that's just basically a traditional sponge float finish, sponge finish. So right, I'll leave them to dry and then I'll come back. We'll do the top coat on that. Let's see what we've got, and then we can compare the three and see what we like the best. More importantly, what the customer likes the best. I'm going to also give them a coat of paint, I think, as well. Instead, I might just paint half. I might just put a bit of tape down and give one half the painted look and leave one half as a natural look. That way we can see what we want to do with them. Okay, so it's a couple of hours later. I've had this laid up against the radiator and this is more or less dry now. Now this was just a sponge finished for the texture. So what we're going to do is put a little bit on and try and do that knockdown texture, leaving this as the background, which might look a bit more rustic. So let's get on with a bit of that. I just want to wet this down a touch, just to slow down any rapid suction. So I just sort of need to mix this up as a bit of a slurry and then just flick it. Very messy, but that way I'm not putting the texture, I'm not spreading it. So we'll just do that and then we can just give it a light skip. Bit heavier, I think. I'd rather put it on with a brush rather than start spreading with a trowel, because I'm going to cover up the base and it's going to lose the effect. So just gentle, nothing heavy. Right, now we'll leave that one to dry. Let's bring you down a bit. So remember, this is just a quick experiment really. I'd do it with a brush, usually a bigger brush, and I'd obviously have more room to flick and get this a little bit more random, but I quite like that with that sort of rougher background on top of the sponge look. I think it looks quite good. So we'll let this dry and then we can start getting some paint out then. Right everybody, it's a few days later now and the sample boards have all been painted. I didn't film myself painting them because if you watch the previous video where I did the sample boards in the drywall adhesive, I painted them exactly the same way. I just painted them all black, and then I just gave them a very light sprinkling of the gold spray, which was that, because these are just samples at the minute, so this is not like a definite colour finish. It's just literally what I've had to hand. But the only difference was, because they were done in like a one coat render, I painted the black in some black masonry paint, because obviously if these boards are going to stay outside the render ones, we're going to need to see what it looks like on the masonry background. So I'll show you the boards. So if you remember, the first one we did, which was quite a deep texture, and then we stippled it from quite deep and then just give it a little flatten off. That's this one, and that's come out quite nice. That looks pretty good. It's got a nice texture to it. And remember, this is just plasterboard. So obviously I'd be doing it on a cement board of some sort. So that's the first one. Quite like that, looks good. I mean, to be honest, they look nothing until you put the paint on. Without the paint on, it just looks like someone's dropped a load of sand and cement on the board. So this was the second one, which was just a very thin coat. The gold paint's not come out so well here. You can see where I've sort of crisscrossed with that, but we're just doing it for the textured effect. That, I don't like that texture so much. It just looks a bit thin and a bit, there's not a lot going on that, so I think we can definitely scrap that one. And then the third one, which you've probably just seen on a video, but I'm just reminding myself because this is a few days later. The third one was the one where I put it on and I left it to dry with a sponge finish. Once it was dry, then I put a texture on, and that came out. I like that one. I think that's come out nice, because I don't know, the background you can just see it's, I don't know, it's just gives something a little bit more rustic. So that's that. So I thought I'd just show you them anyway. And it's Friday now, Friday afternoon now. So I'm popping down to see the job tomorrow evening, and I'll take these sample boards down and let the customer see which one they prefer. I prefer this one, to be honest. So let's get the other sample board. So we had, for the inside, with the inside texture, I think this was the decision. It was going to be this one, and that paint's a little bit more shiny on there because that was a satin, the black on that one. So that was going to be the inside one, and potentially could be that as the outside one. But I will keep you all updated, I'm sure. Well, I will keep you updated. And so like I said, I'll go and have a look at it tomorrow. I might just do a little video of what's to come, so you can see what's going to be done. And then I'm not sure when it's going to be done, but I'll keep you all updated for anyone that's interested anyway. Right, that's the end of this little bit, and next time I see you on talking about this particular job, I should be showing you the barbers. I might even go and get a little haircut when I'm in there. Will be a little haircut as well.